How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Crypto Slayer. I'm going to be talking about the Stellar Xlm Agenda. By popular demand, you guys chose this as my upcoming topic, which is this video that I'm making. And I'm going to talk about the many reasons why XLM is here to stay. One of them is because it's a part of Grayscale, and Grayscale is trading publicly in the United States stock exchanges. So they're audited obviously by the SEC, and they offer digital assets as part of their investment strategy and products. You can buy into the XLM trust and you'll get basically 93 XLM tokens per share, and there's 770,000 shares outstanding that people have already purchased and bought from Grayscale. So that means that Grayscale right now has around $17 million worth of XLM in assets under management. They have obviously more money put into Ethereum and Bitcoin, but XLM is interesting because it's a part of Hyperledger, and that's the reason why I think it's going to be here to stay. Hyperledger as a whole it's basically a blockchain consortium that includes Quant, Ripple, Hedera Hashgraph, JP Morgan, IBM, on and on. So it gives you an idea of what companies are going to survive when this two-tier society hits, and there's a new financial system in place, and it's going to be the ones that are connected to these organizations that are part of the Hyperledger fabric, in my opinion. That's what I think. Not financial advice, but only accredited investors can buy into these investment products that Grayscale is offering. So as you guys can see, you got the Grayscale Basic Attention Token Trust, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, you got the Grayscale Bitcoin Cash Trust, and it gives you the inception dates of when they were added. And yeah, some of them go back as far as 2013, 2018. One of the most recent ones was the Stellar Lumens, I think, and there's a few others that got added. So yeah, Basic Attention Token is the most recent one. I think that XLM was added in 2018, so that's like late 2018. That's when XRP was added, but obviously it was taken away for obvious reasons that happened. But Stellar at 22 cents, getting close to 23 cents. So you can literally get 4 for every dollar that you're investing. So clearly the price that you get into this asset matters, because the lower the price, the higher the multiplier effect becomes on your ROI, or return on investment. So think about it like this: you're buying this token at 22 cents, right? Instead of buying it at 40 or 60 or 80 cents, you're buying it at 22 cents because you saw this opportunity arise for you to buy it at these low prices. I bought it, by the way, at 7 to 8 cents. So this to me is a little expensive. I'm probably going to wait until it drops down to 15, 16 cents, which is double of my entry price, I guess. I'm not going to be buying it at these prices again, knowing that it could dip another 10, 20%. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait and see what happens, really. I'm just in a wait and see type situation with this. But I know that the lower the price that I'm getting into this at is making me able to basically enjoy these ROIs that are going to be absolutely insane. At 22 cents, say you just buy this at 22 cents for the first time. At $2, that's a 10x return on your investment, or around there. At $4, it's a 20x return. Okay. At $20 is a 100x return on your original investment. At $200, that is a 1000x return. So that is basically why it matters when you get into these assets, what price you get into these. You got to be an early investor. You got to buy when no one's buying. You got to buy in the bear market, because during the bull market is when all the people return during hype markets, during hype scenarios. Why? Because they don't want to buy when everything's quiet, when everything's in the red, because no one's telling them to buy it. Everyone's just saying how everything's going to go to zero. But when it's a bull market, everyone's a genius. Everyone's like, this is going to go to 1,000, this is going to go to $5. That's when people buy, and they usually buy it at the top of really high prices, and that's a recipe for disaster, because you could have a 20-30% correction right after, and you have to be able to handle those type of movements in the market. Because if you don't know what you hold, you're going to sell at a loss. Essentially, you're going to sell at 30% down. But if you know what you hold, even if you bought up there, even if you bought at 40 or 50 cents, you know that over time you're going to get your money back, and plus more. You're obviously going to get a good ROI. You're invested because of the fundamental value that it holds, and on top of that, you know that it has potential in the long term to be utilized, and that utility is going to bring price action, hopefully into the positive, into the upside This is a game of patience. If you look at the number of accounts that have been added to the Stellar network, you can see under this graph, this blue line shows you how it's grown exponentially. There's only around 75,000 total accounts that were created in this network around like the summer of 2017, and then 3 to 4 years later, what do we have? It's 5.5 million total accounts, guys, in the Stellar network. There's 56,000 total payments that happened in the past 24 hours. So this is an indication that this is obviously being utilized for payments, because there's an overall total amount of payments that have taken place in the Stellar network, which amounts to 456 million payments or transactions. So that's healthy. That means that this network is active in what they're saying that they're going to utilize this token for, and it's for settlements, payments, remittances. That shows me that this is obviously something that has use cases involved. It's not just there existing as a random token that people just created out of thin air. This is actually doing something in the world. So Stellar is fast, cheap, connected, and you can meet the Stellar USDC, which is the USD stablecoin that's built on the Stellar network. This is one of the many use cases that Stellar has. It's making custodying USDC easy, instant global payments. It's a lot of benefits to using the Stellar network. The Stellar network is a fork of the XRP ledger. It's basically a copy of it, because the founder, who is Jed McCaleb, he was working with David Schwartz. He was an architect of the XRP ledger, so that's why he's able to create this massive project that has all these use cases. It's because it is basically a fork of the XRP ledger. That is its origins. Jed McCaleb left Ripple with all his XRP, and he's not able to sell all of it at once, so he has to sell a specific amount every single day depending on volume. But he is also the one behind Mt. Gox and that exchange, and you guys get the idea. So this guy's basically untouchable. It's like he's necessary, and he has a role to play in this new financial system. That's why they're keeping him around. But there's a lot of things I want to mention, guys. And this is where I get to the fun part of this video. So here's the Stellar network. It's part of the Hyperledger fabric right here. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's the Stellar Development Foundation. They mentioned the funding that it has, the headquarters in San Francisco, California. How many employees are part of that organization, which is anywhere, it's like 51 to 100. Twitter and a Crunchbase account, stellar.org website. See right here, Hyperledger member. This is verification. Okay. Now, it was also mentioned the World Economic Forum. This was their latest PDF, basically community paper on cryptocurrencies, and they mentioned the Stellar blockchain. So they said that the Stellar is a global public blockchain network built for interoperability between traditional and digital financial infrastructure. Most notably for cross-border payments, Stellar's ledger limit is currently set at 1,000 operations per ledger, with ledgers closing approximately every 5 seconds, so 1 second slower than XRP. And that's a limit of 250 transactions per second. The following resources are available to learn more about scalability on Stellar. So it's highly scalable and future-proof. That's also a reason why it's a chosen crypto, guys. But check out this picture right here, the Internet 3.0. If there was a special drawings right that causes their basically a currency reset to take place, they're mentioning the US dollar as a currency, euro, renminbi, Japanese yen, pound, the Internet Computer Protocol, XRP, as part of that SDR basket. But they're also mentioning that for global liquidity, they can utilize XDC, which is apparently tied to copper, XRP, which could be tied to gold in the future, or XLM, which is tied to silver. And this is the special drawings right. Apparently, it's just talking about a possible agenda, right? That can employ the Stellar network, the XRP ledger, the Symphon network, the Algorand blockchain, and on, guys. Flare, IOTA is even listed on here. So this is recent. Obviously, this is not an old picture. I'm not the creator of this whiteboard image. I just found it on the internet. But if you guys know who the owner is, then let me know and I can give them credit. But yeah, it talks about all the value and liquidity, no cost, increase in speed, the values in the protocol, privacy and encryption gets increased thanks to the blockchain technology that's available now, legal execution, and it's all because of smart contracts, user monetization, and that allows for more micropayments to take place. With the NFTs, you get IP protection, permanent transactions, so immutable transactions. This is what they want, guys, for a CBDC as well. Speed of settlement needs to be high and needs to be quick. This is changing DeFi and centralized finance as well. There's a scarcity aspect to these currencies, to these digital assets. I mean, there's only going to be a certain amount out there that will ever exist. There's Nostro Vostro accounts that need to be replaced for this new financial system to be as efficient as possible. Institutions will basically create adoption, and the corporations are the ones that are taking advantage of this new technology to become more competitive and to level the playing field with each other. And you got governments are going to obviously create regulations for the space. Banks are going to need liquidity, and this is where that global liquidity can be sourced from, and it's from these currencies right here, the SDR basket. And you got the cryptos that could possibly in the future be tied to gold or precious metals. Who really knows if that's going to happen? But that's not the only like thing that says that it could possibly be tied to precious metals. I mean, you got Kendra Hill, who said that, talking about like Ripple and Stellar, they said that Ripple of deception. So Jed McCaleb, the co-founder of Ripple and Stellar, supporter of Lucis Trust, has family ties connecting him to the Federal Reserve and United Nations. In 2014, he moved on from Ripple to create Stellar, giving the illusion that the two organizations were separate entities. And Ripple and Stellar are like brother and sister, each providing something of value in the new world financial system. Ripple is said to be a cross-border payment provider, and with the use of XRP, it will be. But for a short period of time, the world will not need a cross-border payment provider when we are using the Lumen, or the Stellar Lumen, which is the XLM coin. Stellar Lumens will become the world currency, while XRP becomes a store of value. The Lumen is digital silver, and XRP is digital gold. Did you guys catch that? The purpose of XRP, according to Kendra Hill, is to be used in the derivatives market while also acting as a store of value. XRP is not and was never intended to be a currency, nor was it created to be used specifically for cross-border payments. When Codius is released, we will see its true purpose unveiled. And Ripple and Stellar are the keys to the new financial system, which will be ushered in as the old system collapses. Perfect timing. And this is what she said on Steemit. Step in the light. So introducing the one currency which will replace all fiat currencies, the Lumen, according to Kendra Hill. So she said that it can be transferred in seconds for less than the value of a penny, and the supply is capable of scaling to meet the needs of a growing world population. The Lumen can be defined as the luminous flux of light produced by a light source. It says that Lucifer is the bearer of light, the morning star. Soon we will be sending lumens using Li-Fi, which is light used to transmit data. Welcome to the age of Lucifer. And it talks about this, rabbit hole of Agenda 2030 and making the connection between Jed McCaleb and Lucis Trust, which has a project called World of Goodwill as the United Nations Sustainable Development Plan that promotes the teachings of its founders, Alice Bailey Lucis Trust, formerly Lucifer Publishing Company, and is the organization behind the One World Religion. And she said that a bunch of other stuff, guys. You guys can pause and read. And I don't subscribe to those ideas or theories from so-called insiders. I just kind of look at those ideas, images like this for fun. Okay, so I explain them, I give my reaction to them for entertainment purposes only. So this is just only to spark a discussion, and it makes researching these cryptocurrencies and these technologies a lot more fun. So you kind of get into this rabbit hole of what the so-called insiders have to say, and it makes researching, like I said, an entertaining process. And sometimes it gets boring because you're just looking at articles upon articles, and you're reading white papers. You're looking at how the technology works, and you get lost into that, you get sucked into that. And so sometimes you just want to read something that triggers you, that makes you think or think about the future, what it could be if that came true. Like, imagine XRP gets tied to gold and XLM gets tied to silver. Like, could you imagine the price appreciation that would basically entail? Stuff like that makes you wonder and imagine, and it makes you feel good. That's why a lot of people subscribe to these theories from insiders, is because they make you think, like they make you feel like that you're gonna get rich, like you're gonna be this billionaire and stuff like that. It inspires that in people. So that's why I think these insiders exist. People like Mr. Pool or Mr. Loop, Bearable Guy 123, is because they make research bearable. They make holding these digital assets, for the long term, so-called bearable. That's in the name, right? But I'm just talking about this stuff for fun. Really just give my reaction. If you guys want to see the full breakdown and my reaction to the Kendra Hill theory, I'll make an entire video on that, and just comment Kendra Hill in the comment section below, and I'll make a video as soon as possible, guys, if you guys found that interesting in some way. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Definitely leave a like if you did. Comment if you have any suggestions for future uploads. I'll get to it as soon as possible as well. I'll make sure to comment using my desktop so that YouTube doesn't auto delete my comments. It seems like if I use the YouTube app on my phone, like the YouTube Studio app, it removes my comments after a while, which is kind of weird. But I'll make sure to reply, guys, on my desktop. Make sure that my comments stay there and stick, because I like interacting with you guys. And also subscribe to my channel if you're new and you found my content enjoyable. I'll see you all on the next video. I am out.